This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
Survivors say there's a big void to fill in Indiana when it comes to finding help. How one local city is now making moves to provide an advocate for victims of sex crimes. A family goes through a gut-wrenching home invasion, the first-hand account, and why the family says it could have been worse. And then RTV6's Hiring Hoosiers isn't just about jobs. It's also about overcoming the barriers keeping you from your career. The effort honing in on how the opioid epidemic affects the workforce. Good evening to you at 7 o'clock. I am Mark Mullins. Survivors of sexual assault and domestic violence are having a tough time finding resources in central Indiana. That's according to victim advocates who say communities need more resources, and in turn, that could help solve more crimes. Call 6 investigates Kara Kenny headed to one town who calls their new position a game changer.
Brownsburg is home to more than 26,000 people, and now it's home to its own advocate for sexual assault and domestic violence victims. Morgan Coley is the new victim advocate with the Brownsburg Police Department. It's a first-of-its-kind role for Brownsburg and for police agencies in Hendricks County. Morgan will serve as a tour guide of sorts for victims of crimes, with an emphasis on sexual assault and domestic violence, guiding them through the process of criminal investigation. The newly created role will free up detectives to focus more on solving crimes.
And we have 2 advocates out of the Hendricks County Prosecutor's Office, but of course, often what happens is that case isn't to them until the criminal investigation is complete. So we just noticed in that interim that there were some things we could be doing better, and that's what we did. We determined that we were just going to try to help bridge that gap.
The Indiana Coalition for Crime Victims' Rights applauds Brownsburg's efforts. Founder Lael Hill is working to get other police departments to do the same. The coalition is also working to add more services to donut counties, like sexual assault response teams, as well as rape crisis centers. Morgan started her position May 13th. Her position is at no cost to taxpayers due to restructuring other positions. In Brownsburg, Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Caught on camera, thieves pulling up in their car and breaking into a southeast side home. A family, including children, was inside when it happened. RTV6's Stephanie Wade spoke to the family and has the frightening details tonight.
It was just before 1 o'clock this morning. A neighbor tells me he heard a car pull up with 5 men inside. They asked each other, "Which house do you want to hit?" Minutes later, guns drawn, they broke into this home.
They came in, they said, "Don't move, show me your hands." One of them immediately came over to me and started, just grabbed my phone off my desk, my wallet.
Terrifying moments for this southeast side family. 3 men caught on a neighbor's surveillance camera dressed in all black broke into Josh Smith's home near Acton and Mays Road while he, his wife, 2 kids, and mother-in-law were all inside. Police say they broke in through the garage door that was accidentally left open. 2 others waited outside while the 3 ravaged through the home, stealing mostly electronics, phones, an iPad, and an Xbox. Luckily, no one was hurt, but shaken nonetheless.
Wife and kids were asleep in the bedroom, but the dogs were in there with them. We have a gate to kind of keep the dogs either in or out, depending on what we want, and they saw the dogs and didn't go in there, so it was kind of lucky.
Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
Well, what do you do when you've tried for 6 years to get your sidewalks repaired in your neighborhood? Residents in the Southern Ridge subdivision say people have sustained injury because of the neglect, so RTV6 is investigating the problem. Neighbors tell us several people have gotten hurt on these shoddy sidewalks. Emails dating back to 2012 show the Homeowners Association has tried to get repairs done with the Mayor's Action Center. The neighborhood has repeatedly been told its sidewalks are low priority.
You came to us as a last resort?
Yes, absolutely. We thought if we shed a little light onto it, maybe it was on the news, we could get the city to do something about it.
The Department of Public Works says it has a huge backlog of requests for sidewalks that are much worse than these, and there's no telling when crews can get to this neighborhood. It is worth noting there is a $1.6 billion need for sidewalks in the city, including repairs. If you're dealing with a problem and need help getting results, reach out to us by sending us an email at workingforyou@rtv6.com. Let's take you outside, get a live look from our Weather Now camera network. A gorgeous evening shaping up here on the eve of the weekend here. Meteorologist Kyle Mounts has a look at what's in store for the rest of your night.
Yeah, a nice way to get our Friday evening going here. Quiet weather across central Indiana and a beautiful view you can see of our downtown. And we're looking at a lot of green out there as we've had a lot of rain recently. We've enjoyed a little bit of a break in that, but the rain is going to build back in here for the weekend. Our temperature right now, after being in the 80s, upper 70s, still breezy, and I don't think that's really going to change right through the day tomorrow. You can see a little more sunshine over the northwestern half of the state, a little more cloud cover for you around Bloomington and Columbus with your temperatures in the 80s. That's also where we've got some cooler temperatures and we've got some rain showers, and actually this will be spiraling back our direction as we go through the weekend. But if you're heading off to Symphony at the Prairie this evening, no weather problems for you there. Going to be beautiful with our temperatures in the upper 70s at 7 o'clock. We'll be in the lower 70s at 10, and overnight a low of 64 degrees. So that's where we're going to start off our weekend. Those rain chances, they do build in. We'll take a closer look at that timeline in a few minutes.
Kyle, we'll see you soon. Thank you. People across the U.S. are bracing for another weekend of severe weather. Many are still cleaning up from the last few rounds of storms. Chris Welch is with a woman from Ohio who couldn't do anything but watch as crews demolished her storm-ravaged home.
It's been almost 2 weeks since a tornado ripped through Salina, Ohio.
It's just tough.
The sounds of crews clearing fallen trees and repairing rooftops echo through the neighborhood.
My husband built our house with his own hands.
But at Jenny Kahn's lot, it's the sound of more destruction.
To think that it's gone in like a minute's time. That's probably the biggest thing.
Their sounds not unlike what she heard that night when she and her family huddled in the basement.
Glass, I heard things moving, and then I heard our garage, like it was just a big crunch.
When it ended, they fled to a neighbor. It wasn't until sunrise when they could truly see the extent of the damage.
The whole back, like my living room, kitchen walls were blown out. There was no roof at all.
Now those walls, the roof, and 13 years of memories loaded into dumpsters.
It is. It's tough.
They plan to rebuild the same house on the old foundation. It'll take time, but she takes comfort in what matters.
We were alive. We were alive.
Her message today is simple.
You are not going to outrun Mother Nature. You can't. I mean, would have I ever guessed this would have happened to us? Never, never.
Reporting in Salina, Ohio.
Never, but it did.
I'm Chris Welch.
An update now on the fourth elephant at the Indianapolis Zoo to test positive for a potentially deadly virus. Zookeepers say 12-year-old Zahara now has very low levels of the virus. She's still taking antivirals. Zookeepers detected that virus in Zahara back on May 20th, but they caught it early because the zoo implemented regular testing after the first elephant became ill. Zookeepers have said they are optimistic about Zahara's recovery. The first two elephants to come down with the virus, Naya and Kalina, both died. And the zoo's only male elephant, Kadar, also contracted the virus, but he has fully recovered. Rainbow flags are on full display as the community celebrates Indy Pride this weekend. Our Aaron Lish shows us the changes you can expect heading into the busy celebration and takes us back to the roots of this LGBTQ event.
It was the early 90s at Monument Circle, and the LGBTQ community was out for Indy Pride.
We deserve the right to have our own celebration because we are what we are, you know, and we have nothing to hide.
There was pushback by protesters. But those at Pride hoped for a change.
We need to stand up, and we have rights, we have love, just like anybody else.
You know, I'd like to walk down the street just like this and not think twice about it. Someone says the Gay Pride Festival at the Circle, people are going to say no big deal. Because in 10 years, that'll the way it'll be.
And now, almost 30 years later, Chris Handberg of Indy Pride thanks the early Pride goers for the acceptance they have today.
So all of the visibility was made possible by very brave people who took a lot of negativity, a lot of oppression, and a lot of abuse for being who they are.
30,000 people are expected for the festival at Military Park. And for those going this year, it's tobacco-free and no coolers are allowed. There will be hydration stations with free water. The parade starts at 10 a.m. on Saturday, and the festival begins 1 hour later.
It's the one time of year we can be ourselves without having to explain ourselves, without having to educate people that we're just like you, and we can just be with our community and not have to apologize, so we can celebrate who we are.
The parade is free, where you'll see more than 140 floats, cars, and walking groups. You can head to the festival for $5, where you can help celebrate Indy Pride. Erin Lish, RTV6.
Was it a bird? Was it a plane? Was it even ladybugs at all? We're settling the debate when it comes to this massive blob spotted on the radar next. And we're keeping our eye out for changes in your forecast when you can expect to see the rain this weekend. That's next. You're watching RTV6 News at 7.
RTV6 is working for you.
This is RTV6 News at 7, working for you.
We want to settle a debate we first talked with you about last night over a ladybug swarm that was spotted on the radar. It looked like a giant rain cloud, but the massive blob that showed up Tuesday night over Southern California turned out to be ladybugs. Some experts said there was no way, but today we found a report by the Los Angeles Times. They heard from a National Weather Service meteorologist who talked to a spotter up in the mountains. That spotter confirmed specks flying around turned out to be ladybugs, not a dense in a cloud-like, but enough to cause this on the radar.
And that makes sense over the mountains, because we were wondering, how does everybody not see that if it's that massive?
Right. What were they going? Where were they going?
Well, yeah, we still got to find a ladybug and find out.
It's a ladybug's night out.
All right. Well, if you are planning a night out, we're in pretty good shape out there across central Indiana. We are living on the edge, at least, of the clouds in downtown. We're looking north. That's where we see lots of sunshine. But back to the south and east, that's where we've got more in the way of some cloud cover. Thing is, those clouds are not bringing any rain to central Indiana tonight. 80 degrees for you right now in Bloomington, Muncie, Kokomo at 79. Same in Indianapolis. As we go through the overnight hours, those temperatures will slide back from the 70s and into the middle 60s. So that'll be kind of our launching pad for Saturday morning. But it's also going to come with the chance for some scattered showers here. This is TrueCast, 7:30 in the morning. Best chance of some of those showers going to be near and south of Interstate 70. As we go toward the late morning, early afternoon, you see a lot of green on here. I don't think the rain is going to be over widespread areas here. It will be kind of hit and miss showers, but maybe enough that you want to take along that umbrella and have some backup plans in case you need to go indoors for a little bit and let those showers pass. But you can see in the planner, though, lots of dry time expected as well. Still going to be breezy. That east wind around 15 miles per hour, and the clouds, the breeze, that's going to hold temperatures upper 70s to around 80 degrees tomorrow afternoon. And the second half of the weekend, we've got that chance for rain as well. This is 8 a.m. on Sunday. Scattered showers, possibly a rumble of thunder here, although overall our severe weather threat is very low for the upcoming weekend. But you get under a couple of these downpours, you could certainly be talking about around an inch of rain. Most areas, though, about a half inch or less is what is expected. So any flooding issues should be fairly isolated over the next couple of days. 7-day planning forecast will keep that chance for rain going into Monday. Then after that, a couple of quiet days, and check out those temperatures actually getting a little bit cooler, middle 70s and even upper 60s by Thursday. And that'll come with another chance for rain. So that system kind of sits there and keeps us a little bit on the cooler side, but end of next week should be shaping up pretty good. Temperatures back in the 70s, but no heat waves coming our way here.
Not yet, at least.
We got a lot of time to go.
Right, a lot of summer life. Okay, thank you, Kyle, for that. Coming up in our Hiring Hoosiers nightly report, with today's jobs numbers, we're asking experts how you can get what you deserve and whether it's with a new job or asking for a raise. But first, part of our mission is helping you overcome barriers to get a satisfying career. Next, how these efforts are tackling the opioid epidemic's effect on jobs. That's all ahead in Hiring Hoosiers, only on RTV6.
Rallies and checkers. Best foodies know the deal.
With Hiring Hoosiers, we are connecting you to initiatives that are in place to keep Hoosiers at work. That is also the goal behind a grant awarded to the Indiana Manufacturers Association. RTV6's Amanda Starantino explains how the grant by the RX Abuse Leadership Initiative will directly respond to the opioid misuse and the addiction crisis in the state to keep employees in their jobs.
Methamphetamines. I was an addict.
Shelly Manis of Rochester knows what life can be like for an addict. She was in prison for dealing meth. Now she's on a new clean path of her life thanks to an employer, Recycle Force, who gave her a second chance.
There's so many of us out there. They don't ask what you've done, but they know you've had a past and you got to ask, and they want to give you that chance that no one else is wanting to.
The opportunity that Shelly got at Recycle Force is what the RX Abuse Leadership Initiative, also known as Rally, is aiming for in the manufacturing industry. But with the push to tackle the problem before they have to leave the workforce.
They know what to look for.
This grant from Rally to the Indiana Manufacturers Association is to keep Hoosiers hired in the state's largest industry. Hoosiers like Shelly, who are in recovery, and those still suffering addiction.
If you're only doing a drug test after you've had an incident or an accident, you're a little bit behind the times. We need more workers. We need skilled workers. And Indiana's not growing in population in any substantive way, so what we really need to do is grow the participation rate.
The state's legislature created a bill for a second chance program. Rally Indiana awarded a $45,000 grant to the IMA to equip Indiana's largest industry with new resources in response to the addiction crisis.
If an employee or a new hire would fail a drug test, they wouldn't be dismissed. They'd be able to stay employed so long as they entered into a drug treatment program. So part of the grant with Rally is connecting businesses not just to the structure of those programs, but also connecting them to the state resources and the local treatment options.
This grant will fund addiction education in the workplace. With the new funding, Rally Indiana and the IMA has created a digital toolkit and website specifically designed for employers within the manufacturing industry to offer guidance on how to identify and address substance misuse. It's a starting point to change in this statewide issue, affecting not only our workforce, but Hoosier families.
Well, these toolkits are currently rolling out into Indiana manufacturing companies statewide. For more information on how Rally Indiana and the IMA is responding to the opioid epidemic, head to hiringhoosiers.com. That's where you can also find all of our other Hiring Hoosiers stories. Stocks are up, and it's because of today's bad jobs report. Companies added 75,000 jobs in May. Experts expected more than double that. That bad report sparked hopes that the Fed would lower interest rates to offset economic soft spots. That got investors excited enough to erase losses over trade tensions. Also in today's report, wage growth slowed down, and the unemployment rate stayed the same at 3.6%. With today's jobs numbers, Annie Taylor decided to ask, how do these numbers impact our bargaining power, from asking for more money to getting extra perks?
Whether you're looking for a new job or currently have one, but you want to negotiate more money, we've got some tips on how to ask and what to ask to get what you want.
We always try to stress total compensation package as opposed to a dollar amount.
Jody Roberts with recruiting firm Robert Half says that total compensation are the perks and benefits beyond the paycheck, such as flexible work hours, more vacation time, better benefits, even transportation money. And now, before you ask for what you want, Jody says you must know your worth.
Coming in with confidence is the biggest thing, ensuring that they understand that you know exactly what you're worth.
If you're currently employed, you'll have more leverage if you share what you've accomplished.
What are the expectations of me in the first 30, 60, 90 days, or 6 months, 12 months, so that you can be sure to check those boxes and then come to the table to HR or your hiring manager with regards to the things that you've accomplished up to that point or exceeded in.
Don't demand. Jody says it's all in the way you ask. Clarify any questions you might have on vacation time policy, work-life balance, and flexible hours, even career growth. If you're unemployed, don't ask for what you want in the first interview. And if you are already employed, Jody says give yourself a year before asking for more. And remember, you might have more bargaining power than you think.
There are plenty of employers out there that are willing to hire you. At the end of the day, it's just remembering that it's strictly business. All you can do is ask.
I'm Annie Taylor reporting.
Still ahead, details on an upcoming opportunity to expand on your job search and career resources. What you need to know about this weekend event. That's next, right here on RTV6.
Saturday at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Right now in Hiring Hoosiers, we want to connect you with employment opportunities, training programs, and education. We've told you about how employee indies work one office Work One Office, the Employee Indy, is having an open house. It's happening Saturday, June 15th from 11 to 1. There will be a job fair and other career resources, but we want to make a correction. The event will take place at 4410 North Shadeland Avenue, a new location for Work One Indy. Again, that's 11 to 1 on the 15th at 4410 North Shadeland.
All right. Ready for the weekend?
Let's do it.
All right, we got some pretty good weather again. Rain chances are there, but we got dry time, so don't cancel your plans. We've got about a 30 to 40% chance of some showers and storms on Saturday. That's a little bit higher heading into Sunday with high temperatures both days right around the 80-degree mark. And as we look over the next 7 days of your forecast, yeah, temperatures actually going backwards a little bit. Highs will be in the 70s and even 60s there by Thursday.
All right, that'll do it for us here on RTV6 News at 7. We hope to see you back here tonight after the game. Have a good evening, everyone.